Joke's on you, I'm only pretending to be a woman. Yeah, I'm so tired. So living openly and authentically is like a really hard thing because like it requires so much effort and so much work. And being a hyper-visible trans woman and sharing experiences like mine publicly has been incredible in a number of ways, and I've gotten so much love and support. It's amazing. But at the same time, that also comes with equal amounts of scrutiny and aggression and sometimes violence. And so today we're going to talk about some of the more social aspects and difficulties around what it means to be visible as a trans person in South Africa. Remember to hit that subscribe button for more content like this, and you can head over to Instagram and follow me there for more stories and videos. Right, let's do this. Fuck, I'm getting so cold now. So when I initially came out as trans, that was a really difficult time for me. There were very few narratives like mine that were accessible in South Africa. And so while there was content around narratives in the USA and Australia and the UK, there were very few visible narratives that I could relate to in a local context. This made it really scary to navigate my identity and my transition in the initial phases, because I felt so alone, and it was really terrifying. So following that, I had made a very deliberate decision to be visible and be public about my identity and about my transition, to make experiences like mine more accessible to people who were struggling with the same kind of ideas that I was struggling with at the time. And this was also a kind of therapy for me to process my thoughts and my feelings out aloud, and also I think helped my friends and family follow my journey with me. Now, I did make a video about some of the medical aspects of my transition where I talked about my boobs and my sex life. Oh my god, I can't believe I actually did that. So you can check that video out over here. I will put a link in the description so you can watch that video after this one. But today we are talking about the more social aspects about being out, public and visible. So when I first came out, I told my partner and my close friends and family, and for the most part they were supportive. I think for a lot of people in my life it was a bit of an adjustment, and I had to work with them to bring them to a place of understanding around my identity, and particularly the use of pronouns. Oh, they struggled with the pronouns. Yeah. And so working together with the people who supported me and who loved me really did change my life for the better. Like at the same time, that was really emotionally labor intensive. And there were some days where I really couldn't engage with it and help, because at some point people have to stand on their own 2 feet and get it right, you know. And so there were periods where I had to take time for myself because it was so much work. And I don't think a lot of people realize how much effort and work it really takes to bring the people along with you on a journey like this, because it is incredibly difficult. And so not only are you managing your own identity and your own life, you are suddenly managing and educating and assisting other people to come with you on that journey. So it really is incredibly difficult and taxing. And there's also nothing necessarily wrong if you don't want to carry people on that journey with you. It's often put on trans people to educate and facilitate conversations with cisgender people in order to bring them to a space of understanding. And that's exhausting. So one of the things I always say is that I encourage people to go and do their own homework about trans issues, about things that are unfamiliar to you, because you can't necessarily just rely on that person all the time to keep providing you with education and information all the time, because they've got their own lives to live and their own things to deal with other than to, you know, facilitate your conversation. So again, I'm taking the time out to talk to you on a platform like this and to engage with you on issues that pertain to the trans and gender diverse community. So please don't go up to random trans people and asking them for information about their transition and what it was like for them when they were transitioning and what their emotional state is like. Please don't do that. And so I suppose this brings me to the notion about how we navigate our spaces and our interactions with strangers and people that we don't know. It's often people that I don't know very well and people that I have the least contact with that causes me the most emotional damage and emotional strain. I remember while I was still presenting as quite masculine, that being a very difficult time for me. I mean, if you've seen pictures of me back in the day, like, you know, I think to a large degree that masculine presenting women, both cis and trans, somehow don't fit the beauty norms of society. And so what often happens is you'll find masculine presenting women being pushed to the fringes and being mocked and ridiculed all the time. And that was true for me for a number of years. And I can't even begin to tell you how emotionally and psychologically damaging that was for me. I was made to feel that I was gross and disgusting and that nobody would love me, and like I remember crying myself to sleep some nights. I think because of the way that trans people had been represented in media for a very, very long time. And somehow we were taught that the right way to respond to somebody who is trans is with aggression and disgust. I mean, we're people and human beings. In my experience specifically, I had felt the manifestation of that disgust and that fear and that aggression, particularly in straight men who found me attractive. I almost sometimes don't know how to talk about it honestly because it's such a raw and sore area. One of the things that I had to learn over time and learn the hard way was how to keep myself safe. And so in order to keep myself safe, I learned the hard way. I had to set up a whole series of rules in order to keep myself safe, particularly when I would want to go on dates with people or if I wanted to stay over or sleep with somebody. And so suddenly I had to have this whole procedural manual that I had to consult in order to keep myself from being murdered. Now I know I'm laughing about that, but that's not a joke. Like actually I've lost count about how many times I've legitimately feared for my life. And so this is largely at the hands of straight cisgendered men. Like honestly, y'all gotta sort your things out. Women, like I love you, like you're great, mostly. And that's a whole video on its own. Like I can't tell you how many times I've been kicked out of apartments because somebody's partner is coming home. I see you. I guess what I'm trying to say is that some of the little things that we take for granted, like going to the shop or going out in public or going on a date or just wanting to find love, is sometimes for trans people literally a matter of life and death. And so being public and visible as trans is sometimes on a day-to-day basis incredibly violent. And for me personally, I don't think I would have been able to get through all of that scrutiny and all of that aggression had it not been for therapy. So for me, really, building resilience and healing was critical to my survival. Therapy really helped me in a lot of ways in dealing with not only the day-to-day violence that I was experiencing, but also helped me unpack some of my childhood trauma and things that I had experienced over the course of my life that blocked me from doing certain things or accessing certain things or being a fully wholly, round and happy human being. So the world can sometimes be a very, very cruel place for trans and gender diverse persons. And it was for me for a very long time. And I pretty much still struggle with these things every day. I mean, people would say things to me like, oh, you're just pretending to be a woman, or oh, I can't use this bathroom, or oh, we won't let you in the building because we don't allow this kind of thing here. Yeah, like that happens all the time. And it's also been interesting for me because one of the things that I'd been deliberate about was that I didn't want to feminize my voice. Like I love my voice. It's so deep and rich and velvety. And so people have no issues when they see me. But suddenly when I open my mouth, it goes very quickly from ma'am to sir. Or it goes from can I buy you a drink to literally being spat on. Tired. Like wow, Zoe, this video is so depressing. Yeah, welcome to my life. Like I really want to say, like when you hear queer people talking about being, oh you're so courageous, oh you're so brave, this is what they mean, because for some of us, literally being out and being visible is scary, intimidating, and sometimes life-threatening. When you hear us talking about being brave and courageous and patting ourselves on the back for it, it's because we deserve it. Being visible and out can bring you a lot of scrutiny and sometimes hate and aggression. And to be out and proud in the face of all of that, yeah. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Remember to like and subscribe for more content like this, and head over to Instagram to follow me for more stories and videos. Until next time, ciao.